The Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. And the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure. Visit energy.gov.ky/competition to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Friday, the 23rd day of October 2020. I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, the wet roads of the Cayman Islands this morning, if you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road and remember that the life you save may simply be your own. If you're celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you, and we hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the wet and busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. There is always someone on the other end of the line waiting to take your calls. This morning, again, it is the radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, or simply follow us on YouTube, and you do that simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Speaking about you being on a job, whatever job that you're on, and if you do have a job or if you don't have one and you're thinking about changing occupations, this is the segment of For the Record that you want to listen to this morning, because we are going to be talking about the Health Services Authority's Recruitment Fair that is being held, and we have someone in the studio who will tell you about that, and someone who will be joining us later as well. That person who is in the studio with us now is Miss Raquel Sutherland, and she is the Training and Development Officer at the Health Services Authority. Miss Sutherland, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here as well. I don't believe that the public can get anything more current than they're going to be getting this morning. We're going to be talking about this job fair. And while we're talking about it, you're literally going to be opening up your doors for those persons who have an interest in it. Tell us about it.
That's right. All right. So today, starting at 9 a.m. this morning, running until 3 p.m., we will be having a recruitment fair in our conference room. And that, for most people, associate that area of the hospital with the Pink Ladies, where the Pink Ladies cafeteria is. That's where our conference room is. And so from 9 to 3 p.m. today, we'll be hosting a recruitment fair. And I think the key thing is that we want to encourage everyone to come out, not just people who have a clinical background or interest in clinical work. We have such a wide array of vacancies available. We have a number of vacancies that are upcoming, and we will have everything on display today. We have administrative posts, we have financial posts. I really want to get people interested in the posts, in the vocational type based posts. So we have electrician and plumber and general maintenance, HVAC techs. Like, we really want people to think beyond just doctors and nurses and, phlebotomists and all those kind of things. And those are available as well. But really having an understanding of how extensive our IT department is, for example, and our finance department and our marketing team and all the other departments that we have that you would typically associate with other types of organizations. But we have it too. It's all available. We want people to come down, explore what's there, come as if you're ready to interview in a moment. All of our HR officers will be on the floor ready to speak to you. The managers from the respective units, we have over 50 departments, and they will all be in the room making themselves available to engage with you, making sure that you are able to speak with the industry professionals in the moment here today.
So you have a very wide target audience in terms of the people that you're looking to recruit.
Absolutely. And at all levels as well. I think it's important to note that we have posts in various academic levels. We have entry-level posts. We have junior posts that have even been created in a way that we can start to hone some of our homegrown talent, right? So we have young Caymanians who could come into positions where they don't have the experience but be able to train up and become more proficient in the skill set that's relevant for that post. And one of those posts is one that's uncommon. It's a biomedical technician, but we've created a junior post so that a younger, interested person who feels that, I've got a technical background. I kind of like IT. I like working with my hands. I like working with equipment and fixing things. That's the kind of role for someone like that who may not quite have the experience, but the opportunity is being created where they can now have that on-the-job experience, and then there will be opportunities for succession following that. So I think it's really important that persons understand that you do not have to be, qualified doctor and nurse, and those are the only people that could come out. We have lots of entry-level posts, and we absolutely have those senior posts as well. So clinical and non-clinical alike, we really want to push for everyone who really has an interest in a career change, who's looking for succession opportunities, or who doesn't even know what they want to do. So some persons haven't quite figured it out yet. That's fine. Our professionals will be on the floor to give you some guidance, give you some direction. So come on down and have a chat with us and see what might be a good fit for you.
Okay. We've been joined by Miss Samantha Bennett, who is the Chief Human Resource Officer, I believe. That's the title.
Correct.
At the Health Services Authority. Ms. Bennett, good morning.
Good morning.
Back to For the Record. It's been quite a while since you've been there.
It has, on a different hat, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, wearing a different hat. Okay.
So yes, we're very excited to be here. We're thankful for the opportunity for you giving us some time today. The event, as Raka has said, is today, literally in a couple of hours.
Yes.
So we're going to rush off here and we're going to get the rooms ready, and the people are eager. We've heard that there are a lot of people are going to show up and turn up, and we're just excited about the event. You know, we really saw an opportunity that we have so many posts, very limited options on how we can put it out there. So we said, let's do this recruitment fair for the HSA. And there's a lot of people we know have been laid off or unemployed or under furlough, you know, and we just thought this is an opportunity for us to get our positions out there and see what applicants are out there.
Yes. Excellent. What kind of advice, what type of advice would you want to give to those persons? I know Raquel gave some before in terms of those persons who are planning on attending today.
So we have a number of posts that are available. You may come in there looking for a clinical position. You may be coming in just looking for a housekeeping position, but have an open mind, because most people don't understand that there's a lot of positions behind the HSA. We have over 900 staff employed at the HSA, many locations. We operate on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation. You know, some people have downtimes, and we never have a downtime. We're always available. Our operators, our switchboard people are on call, available 24 hours a day. So have an open mind, and although you may come in for one particular job or maybe looking for one particular area, look at all the other areas as well, because you never know. This might be an opportunity for a career change. This might be an opportunity to get your foot in the door doing one thing, and then maybe you aspire to do something that may not be available but becomes available in the future.
Okay. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue with Miss Samantha Bennett and Miss Raquel Sutherland. We're talking about the Health Services Authority job recruitment fair that is taking place this morning at the Health Services Authority. They will tell you more about it as soon as we return from this short commercial break.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
The Wesleyan Ministry Society saw its peak during the 9-month stretch of Reverend John Mearns' tenure in 1842. Mearns, a dedicated man, preached and administered communion in 5 places across the island, frequently traveling 50 miles per week on horseback. This also saw the district of West Bay become home to the first Wesleyan chapel and a second chapel being constructed in Prospect. Congregations as large as 140 members were also reported in central Georgetown. The legislature was very accommodating to Reverend Mearns, permitting him to reside in the parsonage which had been built for the Anglicans and to use the courthouse for service. However, when it came to payment, the legislature later voted down a motion to provide Reverend Mearns with a £5 per quarter subsidy. The motion was defeated 9 votes to 8.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are moving like a hold glass of swanky on a hot Cayman Brack day. Get your tickets now from Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, Funky Tanks, A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Mango Tree Restaurant, Seabird's Bar, Eastern Avenue, Tashara Lewis in Cayman Brack. Get your golden tickets. Get ready to be a winner. Stand your chance to win $40,000. Second prize $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and more. The Music Extravaganza 2020. Building bus shelters throughout the Cayman Islands, supporting over 70 Rotary community projects. Rotary Central, not-for-profit number 232. Rotary opens opportunity.
Digital is not a buzzword, it is a culture. At Digicel, we've made it our mission to enrich your digital lives. That's why we're bringing together more of all the experiences you love. The latest shows, the best of local and international music and radio, live sports, cloud storage, breaking news, HD video chats, and more. Welcome to Digital at Digicel, the Caribbean's fastest mobile network. Digicel, better together.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor.
Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior and 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. 122 Industrial Way, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers and stay prepared. 949-2511. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Ms. Samantha Bennett, the Chief Human Resource Manager or Officer at the Health Services Authority. Also with us, we have Ms. Raquel Sutherland, who's the Chief Training and Development Officer at the Health Services Authority as well. We'll be talking about the Health Services Authority Recruitment Fair taking place at 9 o'clock today as we speak, 9 o'clock this morning. And they're going to tell you more about it because there are lots of opportunities out there for those of you who may be unemployed, may be not in the profession or in the occupation that you want to be in or that you have trained to be in. Some of you who may be waiting for the tourism industry to open up again, and you may find that there are other viable options for you, some even more permanent and not as cyclical as, say, the tourism industry as well. But what am I doing talking about it? We have Miss Raquel and Miss Bennett here. So, ladies, the mic is yours.
All right. So, so for those of you just joining us, we want to encourage you to come on out today. Our Recruitment Fair will be happening from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. in our Hibiscus conference room. And that, for most people, will make the association between there and our Pink Ladies cafeteria. So enter through the back entrance of the Georgetown Hospital campus, and our conference room will be right there in the cafeteria area. We want to encourage everyone to come on down, all academic levels, all skill sets, all professional backgrounds. Even if you don't know what you want to do, you're not sure what kind of roles you're interested in, come on down. All of our HR officers will be on the floor to speak to you, and our section managers, so the industry professionals, will be there to engage with you and be able to give you some direction. We have over 50 positions available. We have upcoming positions that you can learn about and sort of prepare yourself for if you have some interest there. You can apply for more than one post. We really, really want to encourage our companion persons to come on out, join us today for this recruitment fair, 9 to 3 p.m.
Okay, and this isn't a farce, and I hate to use this word, but this isn't a farce. This is for real, because you actually are looking to employ persons because there are vacancies at the moment.
Are vacancies, and there's no doubt. I mean, there's one particular post I was explaining earlier on general maintenance, our electricians, plumbers. We've tried to advertise that post, and we know there are people out there that are available for that post. And we said, you know what, let's hold on for the fair and let's try and get, because we know there are Caymanians out there that may have been laid off, companies downsized, laid off from the tourism industry, and may be available. You know, somebody that has general maintenance experience, maybe had their own business and now things have slowed up for them. Maybe they need to come down and have a conversation with us. But these are very genuine positions. The HSA is expanding in great strides. We're trying to offer more services, be more efficient. So we need the capable staff, and we're willing to train the staff, even if they're not fully qualified. We'll take them to a level of training. That's why we have the likes of Raquel here, and move them within the organization.
Okay. Now, this one may be a little bit controversial, but I'll mention it anyway. We know that at one point in time there were issues with your security department, and I believe that has been outsourced. Has that been outsourced?
Yeah, we wanted to stay.
And are you looking to bring that back into the fold and maybe employ Caymanians individually?
We really want to focus on healthcare and the profession itself. We felt that, you know, in that particular area, security should probably be outsourced and kept with another organization, because it took a lot for us to really monitor and control that. And so it was in the best interest for the organizations to decide to outsource that from last year. So we won't be filling those posts.
Okay, but I know that some people have expressed some concerns, because I believe recently it was announced by the Health Services Authority that they had also been trained in CPR, you know, as well, your security officers. And some people were concerned and saying, well, you know, here we are, we're training people to conduct CPR, but they're
not our staff.
Right, yes.
Yeah, but we have to also understand the logistics of a security officer and the responsibility that they hold. And they hold some very key positions in which they stand before places that are that you may have a patient walk in and fall down. You know, you do have medical staff. Yeah. And CPR is a great skill set for anybody to have. You know, a lot of our staff are all versed in CPR, but we just felt we would extend it to them, because we never know the situation. They may be on the grounds outside, and they may have a patient walking from the car that suddenly collapses and they have to render CPR. We just thought it was an additional skill.
Okay. Has COVID-19 placed any additional demands on you as well in terms of testing and all of the other things, opening up our borders?
I mean, we knew this was going to happen as soon as the pandemic was declared. And I'll give you an example of the fact of the borders reopening is another area of which now we are going to step up our game and take on additional staff because of the additional flights and the requirements to test at the airport and then test upon coming out of quarantine. So we've hired a number of temp staff. In fact, we hired a number of graduated nurses, the nurses that are graduating from the program, to help us with some of that swabbing. And so we realized that this is still ongoing and we're still feeling this out about the opening of the borders. But, as we need staff, we're reaching out and we're ensuring that, Caymanians get the preference in these particular roles. But in that particular one, I think we've hired about 12 people recently just to help out with the borders and the extra flights and making sure staff are on hand at the airport. There's a lot that goes into not just testing somebody, but you've got to produce the labels for the testing. You've got to enter them into the system. You have to process the results. So there's a lot of behind the scenes as well. It's not just going to the airport and swabbing somebody and things. So there's a lot of logistics, and so we have to think ahead of that.
Okay, we're almost to the 8 o'clock news, but we want to catch those persons who have to get out of their cars at 8 o'clock to go to their job. So let's fill them in very quickly before we go to our 8 o'clock news in terms of the time, the venue, what they should bring with them, what they should expect.
All right.
Mr.
So
Raquel.
the time, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The location is the Hibiscus Conference Room at the Georgetown Hospital. So the most associated name or the easiest way to locate that would be next to the Pink Ladies Cafeteria. Most people know it as that. So you enter through the back entrance of the hospital main campus and it will be right in the cafeteria area. Bring an open mind, bring your resumes. If you have an application form, great, bring it. If not, we have some blank ones available. Bring your questions, bring your curiosity. If you don't have any of that, just walk into the room and someone will start a conversation with you. Just bring yourself.
Excellent.
And your mask.
Excellent.
And your mask, yeah, exactly.
And parking instructions in terms of where they should park, because most people drive.
Most people do drive. The back area is mainly for staff. You may struggle to find some spots there, but in all honesty, the Seventh-day Adventist parking lot usually we use for patients. You can feel free to park there.
And across
from there is a staff parking as well. If you find spots, we're happy to lend you some spaces for the day because we want you to come out. So we're not going to stop you from parking anywhere that you can find a legitimate spot. So we don't want you parking in the blue spots. We don't want you blocking entrances. But if you find a legitimate parking spot, jump on in, come on and over and have a chat with our team.
Excellent. We've reached the top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Miss Samantha Bennett and Miss Raquel Sutherland will continue. We have one question here. Person is inquiring about age category, whether or not there's a age limit and what it may be as well. We will answer that question and others that you may have as soon as we return from the 8 o'clock news. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman time check is now 8 a.m. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
Price Right's warehouse sale is on now with big savings on the products you love.
Save $50 on the Hamilton Beach 5-burner gas grill, just $269.99. Get the ProForm Performance 300i treadmill for $649.99. And upgrade to the Samsung 58-inch Smart 4K TV for just $519.99.
Sale ends Wednesday, 28th of October, 2020. Live better for less at Price Right.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Did you know that between May and August 31st, in support of the COVID-19 Emergency Withdrawal Program, the Chamber Pension Plan leveraged IT and human resources to successfully review over 16,000 member applications, approve over 12,000 applications, and paid over CI $130 million to our plan members? We are the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, and we're here for you. For further information regarding the Emergency Withdrawal Program, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service is forecasting increased probability of rainfall and possible flooding to low-lying areas over the coming days as a low-pressure area is forming below Cayman and generally tracking north. Hazard Management Cayman Islands is asking that extra care be employed on local roads.
Can the Honourable Minister state why there continues to be lengthy delays in the clearing and processing of imported items through Customs and Border Control after their arrival in the Cayman Islands, particularly those items shipped via a courier service?
The elected member from Newlands Avasuku there, the Premier, the Honourable Alden McLaughlin, explained a massive increase in demand.
Since our borders were closed in March, Caymanians and residents who would normally travel to shop are now shopping online. I can bear personal witness to this because that's what my wife is doing. The additional demand for import services, therefore, has directly impacted the operations of both CBC and courier companies, as well as the customer experience.
In an effort to alleviate the issue, Mr. McLaughlin says the Director of Customs Border Control has redeployed officers and support staff to manage increased demand for services related to processing, inspecting, and clearing goods. It's also expanding e-services to improve communication lines with importers on status of shipments. The Premier has added that there has been a 32.5% increase in imports since the lockdown in March and a significant increase in the number of importers. And the Department of Environmental Health reminds the community to safely dispose of batteries that have reached the end of their life. Here's Radio Cayman's Dion England with the details.
Batteries that have been improperly disposed of can damage the environment, harm people, and cause fires, officials have noted. DEH explains that batteries can spark and ignite fire due to pressure and heat experienced while being transported to the landfill in a garbage collection truck or when pushed around further after arrival at the landfill. Drop-off points for recycling household batteries are listed on the Department of Environmental Health website, www.deh.gov.ky. To view the list, which includes many schools and supermarkets, interested persons should click through to the Solid Waste Management page from the home page. They must then click through to the recycling page and scroll down to the How to Recycle the Following section. Household batteries may also be taken to the landfill. Large batteries and lead-acid batteries may be taken to the 24-hour drop-off site at any landfill on the 3 islands or to any local garbage. Lead-acid batteries may also be taken to any retailer that sells such batteries. While all hazardous materials should be brought to the Georgetown landfill for proper processing and disposal, persons should first contact the Solid Waste Office at 949-8793. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Dion Anglin.
The governor is congratulating Lisa Welcome from the Ministry of Community Affairs, who has won the Civil Service Employee for 2019 award at an evening of excellence at the Marriott Thursday night. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. Libya's warring factions have signed a permanent ceasefire deal in the hope of ending 9 years of fighting. The Tripoli-based internationally recognised government and the warlord, General Khalifa Haftar, will return all military units to their barracks and all mercenaries will leave Libya within 3 months. A UN envoy described it as a crucial sign of hope. Japanese education officials say that bullying in schools has reached record levels. There was a 20% rise in severe cases last year. More than 300 Japanese children killed themselves because of harassment at school. The Czech Prime Minister has called on his Health Minister, Roman Primula, to resign or be sacked after photos were published of him leaving a restaurant in an apparent breach of coronavirus lockdown rules. Mr. Primula has been urging Czechs to observe tight restrictions. New research has cast doubt on the idea that administering blood plasma containing COVID-19 antibodies could help patients recover from the disease. A trial involving more than 400 hospital patients in India found that blood plasma did not stop the infection becoming more severe or reduce death rates. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Friday's CI Retro Talk Today presentation will tell you about some of our unsung heroes. So be listening. Here's just a little teaser.
On the northeast triangle key, said that's where I leave this morning as the sun was rising. He said, well, how you come to be down here? I said, well, I swam across the triangle key channel and I walked the reef down. Tide took me off, I said, down about halfway down, I call it. But I said, out for a long time, but the Lord helped me that I got back in. He said, you swam across northeast channel, the triangle key channel? I said, yes, sir. And he said, you didn't know what you were doing. So I'm sorry to tell you, but you didn't know it.
CI Retro's Talk Today special presentation Friday at 12:15 p.m. on Radio Cayman, brought to you by the Ministry of Culture. Cayman Islands culture. Love it, wear it, be proud of it.
Maintaining a strong mind and body through sports and general healthy living is a good course of action. But what about your spiritual man, your inner man? He has to be awakened, fed, exercised, strengthened, and led according to the will of God. So, have you heard the call? I'm Evangelist Brother Joseph Joey Ebanks, and I'm inviting you to worship Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7:30. We are bringing the Word of God to our communities as Jesus commanded. Faith comes by hearing, so come and hear. Bring your own chair or simply park and listen to the Word of God from your vehicle, covering the Cayman Islands with the Word of God, one community at a time.
Have You Heard the Call will be in East End Little Hurley's site October 26th through October 29th, featuring Bishop Delbert Clark and Pastors George Williams and Daniel Williams.
That thing we've been saying for 64 years, ignore it. Eat the KFC wings, drink the KFC gravy, fill up on fries. Just please forget the thing we normally suggest. You know, that thing you used to do with your tongue after finishing a delicious piece of our KFC chicken. We get it. It's not easy. There's a reason why it's been our slogan for over half a century. But the world's drastically changed of late, and as soon as we can embrace the change, the sooner we can all get back to doing what we do best. KFC. It's good.
Good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your latest weather as provided by the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Present temperature 81 degrees, but it feels like about 94. Winds are calm. Relative humidity 94%. Last night's low was at 79. Barometric pressure at 29.77 and holding. A trough across the Western Caribbean is expected to produce scattered showers and thunder across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. Our forecast for today, cloudy skies with a 60% chance of showers and some thunder. Showers may become locally heavy at times, leading to possible flooding of low-lying areas, especially over Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be south to southeast, 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Later tonight, cloudy skies, 60% chance of showers and some thunder. Showers become locally heavy at times, leading to possible flooding of low-lying areas, especially in the sister islands. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be south to southeast, 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. We had a high tide. Low tide is coming up at 10:19 this morning. It's going to be high at 5:13 this afternoon and low at 11:35 tonight. For tomorrow, high tide is at 5:28 a.m., low at 11:35 a.m., high at 6:03 p.m. Sunset this evening is at 5:55. Sunrise for tomorrow at 6:24. And the outlook through Sunday morning is for continued cloudiness with scattered showers as the trough lingers over the northwest Caribbean. That's your latest weather right here at your Radio Cayman.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. Mastering the art of communication can open doors for you.
As Susie Kassem wrote in her book, Rise Up and Salute the Sun, we cannot control the way people interpret our ideas or thoughts, but we can control the words and tones we choose to convey them. Peace is built on understanding, and wars are built on misunderstandings. Never underestimate the power of a single word, and never recklessly throw around words. One wrong word or misinterpreted word can change the meaning of an entire sentence and start a war. And one right word or one kind word can grant you the heavens and open doors.
Change your thinking. Change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning, Cayman. Please be careful on the wet roads as you make your way into Georgetown. Seeing a little bit of traffic out there in the Crichton Boulevard East-West Arterial area. But getting closer, looking outside Kingsport Center, traffic is moving along good on the Linford-Pearson Highway till about the first roundabout, and then starts to slow up from then. Similar along Crew Road. Most streets in Georgetown getting a little bit busy, especially along Shedden Road, Eastern Avenue, Godfrey Nixon Way. Traffic coming off the Yesterday Tibbetts Highway, moving good until getting close to the roundabout. Got to negotiate around that. Just taking your turns eventually. West Bay Road also looking good with the traffic flow. Buckle up and stay safe. Your traffic report brought to you by our friends at Subway.
It's the return of the Sub of the Day. Come into any Subway location and order the 6-inch Sub of the Day for only $3.50. Or get the full meal for just $6.
Wow, a meal in Cayman for only $6?
Yes, and it's never been easier to get your favorites from Subway. Just stop in, message WhatsApp at 929-4658, order online, or use Let's Eat or the Bento app. Check out their Facebook or Instagram for the latest store hours. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, We have the Manager Training and Development of the Health Services Authority, Ms. Raquel Sutherland, and the Chief Human Resources Officer, Ms. Samantha Bennett. We're talking about the Recruitment Fair that is being held in another 45 minutes. It will start at the Health Services Authority. Folks, this is for real. They do have job openings. They are serious about recruiting. They're serious about recruiting Caymanians as well. One of our listeners sent a WhatsApp message asking whether or not there were any age limitations. So I will ask, my panel here to talk about the age ranges.
There is absolutely no age restriction. Obviously, if somebody's a young person, maybe still in school and is looking at options, we have an internship program that happens every year.
Okay.
We can definitely get them on board for that. And there's work experience. But also any persons in their older years, and I won't say exactly ages, but we're open to providing opportunities for anybody later in their life that wants to change a career.
Okay, I believe we have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Okay. Good morning to your guest. Everybody there.
Hi, good morning.
But O.C.,
I
have something to say, O.C., and I didn't say nothing about it for, I think, 6 years now. But I had a little boy, right? And I wasn't managed to pay the bill for deliverance, okay? Now, the HSA passed the bill along to these lawyers, right? And I had these lawyers call and ask about what kind of jewelry I had, what kind of car I had, and where I live.
So they're seeking to collect.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have must be like one bank account, and that's just pay from the weekly deliveries that I do. That's just a little bit of money. Now the bank is calling, asking, I don't know if to see to talk. Now I'm scared if these lawyers pressure the bank to give the little bit of money that I have a week. I don't know what to do.
Well, caller, this may not be the forum for it, but I will try to give you some. Yeah, but they're not necessarily equipped to talk about that. But if they do want to, I certainly will give them the opportunity to. My question to you would be that when you first started to get the bill, did you go and speak to the people at the Health Services Authority? Because it seems to me that where it is at now, the point that it has reached now, was because they found themselves in a situation where they weren't getting the results from it, so they decided to hand it over to a bill collection agency who are now pursuing it. Do any of you want to comment on that?
I'll add a
Sure.
few comments. First of all, I appreciate you being willing to call and share your experience. Those experiences are difficult. Because of the forum with which we're discussing this morning in regards to recruitment, I can hear that you're a young Caymanian. I would encourage you to get yourself dressed, even if you don't have copies of your resume. Come down today and see if we can talk about what we can offer you or what is available in terms of job opportunities that could potentially even help to improve your financial situation. The second thing I would say is, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Mom, I have a police record.
Okay. And again, it doesn't stop us from being able to have a discussion. It just means that you would need to be open about that, and we would need to, it's not a guarantee, but right now, what is being offered today is all of our HR officers on the floor to discuss individual circumstances, to discuss all of our vacancies, to be able to give you more information about what would be something that might be a hindrance and what might not. All right? Worst case scenario, my name is Raquel Sutherland. When you come down, ask for me in person. I'll have a conversation with you
And I'd also like to say that maybe you can reach out to the HSA directly if you don't want to be dealing with the lawyers with this outstanding bill, and they're very understanding, and you can arrange a payment plan or something that you can afford directly with them, and then when you're dealing directly with the HSA, then you don't have to answer to any lawyers. So maybe you can do that and reach out to Miss Oneidi Hurlston, and she would be in charge of the collection area.
So it hasn't. It's at a point now where it is still possible for him to come back and talk
I
to
think
the
so.
agent.
I think.
And caller, what better place to work than the people that you owe money to? At least you know. They know where you are, you know where they are, and you can work something out with them. So, despite you having a police record, that government has been in the forefront, even though the Health Services Authority is a statutory authority. Government has been in the forefront in terms of hiring Caymanians who find themselves with a police record and who maybe in the private sector may find it even more difficult. Government is taking the lead on that as well. So I would encourage you to go and see. Yes.
Absolutely. And we do believe in second chances, and we can tell you that we've hired persons with conviction. So it all depends on the individual, the circumstances. But what I do suggest that you do is be very upfront and be very honest. Yeah. And then we can have that conversation further.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Mr. Ozzy, thank you very much, Ozzy.
Okay, and please follow up on what they have told you. We don't know your name or anything, but when you go there, you can identify yourself to Miss. And we don't need to know your name here. When you go there, identify yourself or ask for Miss Raquel Sutherland, and she will talk with you. Please go, caller.
All right. Thank you very much to the guest, and thank you very much. But I just feel like, when somebody, calling you that, like, what kind of jewelry you have, I think that's very other person.
Yeah, it's a little demeaning. Yeah, it's it's demeaning when, but yeah.
Yeah, these agencies have their processes that they use in order to recover things. It's unfortunate that is the experience that you're having, but let's see if we can turn things around. So right now, the ball is going to be in your court. We are giving you the information, hopefully, that you need to change your situation. We are absolutely open to having a discussion with you and really exploring if and how we can support you, whether that means connecting you up with the right persons to create a payment plan, or whether that means that there is a vacancy that might have your name on it that you might be able to fill. So let's have all those discussions. Come down, ask for me by name. We'll start that conversation in person. Okay?
I'll be there next week.
No, it's this morning.
It's this morning.
Yes, this morning starting at 9.
But if you can't make it this morning, please reach out to Raquel Sutherland directly. You can call the Health Services Authority. Don't call today, but call next week. She'll be available. Today we'll be on the floor. We'll be assisting people. But you can reach out to her and she can have a conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. All the best. We wish you all the best. Okay, ladies.
We just want to say one thing about why you need to come and work for the HSA.
Yes.
We're a large organization. We're more than 50% of our staff are Caymanian. We have great benefits that include vacation, study leave, paid health insurance, training opportunities.
There's room for advancement as well.
Succession planning, room for advancement. Just in the last quarter, we promoted, even with COVID terms, we were able to promote 7 of our staff internally, and we're very proud of that. So, I use the example in the pharmacy. You come in, you intern, you start as a pharmacy assistant, you move on to a pharmacy technician, you may move on to a pharmacist, and then on to a specialized pharmacist. You have room to grow in all of the different areas. The HSA is comprised of almost 50 sections of different areas, and we have a number of almost 240 specific jobs that are related to individual areas. So there's a lot of area to grow. You may come in as in a lower position. You may advance and have interest in another area, but there's a lot of internal movement that can occur as well.
And in particular attributes like being a people person and being amenable, things of that nature.
Absolutely. I think it depends on the role that you're applying for
Absolutely.
as well. But I want to use COVID as an example of the type of people that we hire. Now, this is a pandemic that hit the entire world. And at a drop of a hat, in a moment, we needed to start making good decisions. We needed to start managing this thing. Our directives were coming down from central government, from, our chief medical officer. And as an organization, we needed to not only carry out our regular duties and functions because we still had our existing inpatients, but we now needed to take on this new thing that no one knew anything about. The type of people that we hire were persons that were able to, at a drop of a hat, sometimes do their own role in addition to managing this pandemic. Some of them needed to leave the role they were comfortable with, proficient in, and jump into a new role that was uncharted territory. We have persons who are resourceful. We have persons that are dependable. We have persons that, are willing to go above and beyond for the organization. Those are the types of I would say, characteristics that we really want our team or prospective employees to be able to embody. So you have to have a can-do attitude. You have to have determination. And if you don't, then let's have a conversation about how we can, help to develop and hone some of those skills. How can we start to create a learning environment for you to be able to, carry out whatever duties you end up being assigned to the best of your abilities.
Okay. Now, I know you ladies worked late last night, and you have to get back over to the HSA to prepare, and you only have about a half an hour to do that. But I want to give both of you an opportunity for some closing comments as well, starting with you, Ms. Raquel, and then over to Ms. Samantha. Sorry.
So my closing comments definitely is going to be whether you know exactly what field of interest, what field of work you're interested in or not. Today is the opportunity to have all of our industry professionals, both clinical and non-clinical, on the floor at your disposal, open to any type of conversation, any type of support, be able to give you some direction. Even if it's a job that you're not fit for at the moment, be able to give you some guidance on how to get there, what avenues to take, how long that might take. Just come out and have a conversation. I think that is the starting point.
Okay.
And for
Samantha?
me, I think that persons need to come, as Raquel said, with an open mind. There are many options on the table. Come dressed, because you may have an interview. You may end up with a manager who's interested in your particular, resume or your application. So, come with an open mind, a great attitude, and come on down for sure. Even if you can come for half an hour, just pop your head in. We'll be there until 3 o'clock today. It's 9 to 3 at the Hibiscus Meeting Room. I know we keep referring it to the Pink Ladies area, but it's actually called the Barista now. Used to be the Pink Ladies many years ago, so I don't want to take away from that particular restaurant. But we are in the rear of the hospital. There's parking in the back there, and there's also parking within the Seventh-day Adventist parking lot. And we want to see you, so come on down.
Okay. And when you start your radio station over there, I'll apply for you.
We're going to have that too. You'll be the first on the agenda.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you very much for being here. And I want to say to people that they're serious about employing Caymanians. There are positions that are available. They have pointed out that over 50 positions that are available. There are upcoming positions as well. If you have a skill set, a particular skill set, or if you just have a general skill set, still show up. There may be something there for you. You may be working in the tourism industry now, in the hotel industry. There may be nothing there for you. A good opportunity to get a job that is not cyclical. It's not seasonal. It's all year round. Good benefits and everything else. And these ladies have pointed it out to you. But there are people who will be there today who can tell you more. And if there wouldn't be any room for any guided tours or anything at this point in time.
Not at this time, but
yeah.
we're going to see how today works out, and if it becomes a great event, then we might hold another one to mid next year, because we feel that where we can reach the people in these opportunities, then such events like this may be a common occurrence.
Excellent. Ladies, all the best.
Thank
I know
you.
you have to go as well. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, we're going to have Dr. Steve Macfield in the studio with us, and we have lots to talk about as well. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Registration is ongoing for the Department of Tourism Pride webinars. The tourism industry is ever evolving. Stay up to date with the industry standards, best practices, and ensure you are the best ambassador for Cayman. The Pride webinars offer customer service, business acumen, history, and cultural classes. Webinars will run on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. To see the full schedule and register, visit pride.ourcayman.ky.
Come and enjoy spooktacular fun for the whole family at Cayman Turtle Center's Halloween Family Fun Fest.
Saturday the 31st of October. Explore the wildlife, ride the water slide, splash in the lagoon, and enjoy fun games and activities for the kids.
The Halloween fun will take place from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with carnival-style food and drink specials for the whole family.
Costumes are encouraged, and kids 12 and under in costume will get free admission.
It's Cayman Turtle Center's Halloween Family Fun Fest.
Saturday, October 31st. Don't miss it.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more. With huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value. Integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Seafaring is an integral part of the Cayman Islands' history, its identity, society, economy, and development. The 2021 National Heroes Day, celebrating our seafaring heritage, recognizes the outstanding contributions made by our seafarers. It highlights the inspiring stories of our seafaring heritage and celebrates the industry that is firmly embedded in the history and culture of the Cayman Islands. Nomination forms are available online at celebratecayman.ky and ministryofhealth.gov.ky. Submit your nomination for National Heroes Day by Saturday, 31st October 2020.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Again, we want to wish the Health Services Authority all the best on their job fair today. We want to encourage all of you who are out there, in particular Caymanians who are out of a job or maybe in a job that is temporary. Explore the options that are being offered by the Health Services Authority. We always complain that we Caymanians don't get the opportunities. And not to say that sometimes that complaint may not be warranted, but also when there are opportunities out there for us, we have to take advantage of them. You have to show up. You have to show an interest, submit an application. You know, you never know. You never really know what is out there until you go. And certainly, if Dr. McPhail and I were at the age where we were looking for employment, we would certainly take advantage of that opportunity, wouldn't we, Doc?
What you said, you probably talk about if I was the age.
They did say an age, actually, yeah.
I went for my checkup yesterday, and I had a new person looking after my file.
Uh-huh.
And it took a little while. And then when I went into the office, he said to me, "Are you the right person?" And I said, "Yeah." He was looking like for an old man. And he said, "You sure you're the right person?" "Yes, I'm Steve McPhail." And he said, "But you look like 58 or something like that, not 85. So don't count me in with you. See?
I like that one. I like that, Doc.
And you never know, I might want to go back to my first profession.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a
dentistry.
Yes, right. And I'm board certified in Canada.
Okay.
I still read about it. I probably would have to a couple of months to catch up with all the new techniques and things like that. But I could do that quite quickly.
Wow.
So if I want to go back and work in a dental clinic, I could go right now. Okay. If I want to give up law and go back there, I could go. And I was very good at what I did. I was one of the best in Vancouver. I work with a group called the Kamara Group. And I worked on the 13th floor of the medical dental building downtown Vancouver. And my boss was a guy called Dr. Zokol. He was a Yugoslavian.
Okay.
And he was one of the best dentists, always one of the best in Canada. He worked for mostly the middle class, upper class people. The Canadian Broadcasting Company Group. And he would call me in and says, "Here's a photograph of this woman when she was 20 years old and 18. She wants to look like that. I want you to make her look like that." And I would make her look like that.
Wow.
When I finished making porcelain onto gold and stuff, and I call her in and fit them, they were pleased. I was a little arrogant too because I made good money. And and I was good at what I did and so forth because I had good hands.
Yeah.
And I could do it again.
Yeah. So dentistry requires a lot of dexterity.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Oh yes, especially my specialty, my special crown and bridge.
Okay.
And I did a lot of baking porcelain onto gold and staining them. I could stain a tooth to make you look just. When I finished with a bridge, you couldn't tell that it was not the natural teeth that you were born with.
Wow.
I could put all of those streaks and all of those little white dents in it. I could make you look. I could make you look like a child of 10, 12, 14, 15 years old if I wanted to.
Wow.
I was really good. I mean, you come to my office, you'll see my certification and my board certification.
Excellent.
So people, I can do many things.
Okay. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
I'd like to put a point out or ask some questions.
Sure. Go right ahead.
I'm over here in Cayman with on Logic here. I have called them the whole week. We don't hardly get no things on our TV over here because I think their equipment is too old. I was in Grand Cayman, and the pictures over there are so beautiful. Somebody was telling me that they have internet over there. Well, we have internet over here, but they don't hook us up to internet so we can get something better. You can't hardly see anything on the TV for the whole week. I have called 3 or 4 days and complain. So I have to pay for what I get on this TV here is $30 a month. And I don't know why we can't get no better service from Logic.
Okay. I know that I'm not sure that if this has to do with the TV, but there were some challenges with the radio and there was some maintenance that was going on in terms of the tower up there and everything else. I'm not sure whether or not that affects that. But I'm wondering whether or not the regulatory authority here in the Cayman Islands has anything to do with that and knows about it as well, that you could lodge a complaint with them.
Well, I've called over here in Cayman Brack so many times and I'm tired of calling.
Okay.
And it's not fair of the service that we're getting over here.
Okay, what we will do is I'll see what information I can get in terms of how a complaint can be lodged over on this end, because the people of the sister islands should not be subjected to anything less than what we're getting here in Grand Cayman, and you're paying for it as well, and you deserve the service that you pay for. So let's see what we can find out about that. We will agitate on this end for you.
Well, the thing of it is, the boxes they have, for one thing, they're old. The towers that they have, they're old, and I don't know how many years old they are, but it's just ridiculous, because sometimes you can't hear the news, sometimes you can't hardly see the weather picture, you can't hardly get nothing on Trump and what's his name, and I mean the pictures are like coming in like black and white marks, and then come in and then sound like breeze in it. I mean, it's been terrible for the whole week, and it's not fair. I mean, we pay for what we're not getting the service.
Yeah, really sorry to hear that, and we will.
But they did do a good job on getting y'all back on the air. So I was glad of that.
Okay, but that doesn't help you, right?
No, not on the TV, not on the TV, but at least we can get the weather report and stuff for Cayman.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for expressing your concerns, and we will definitely follow up on it as well.
But I mean, it's so nerve-wracking. I mean, you sit here and you say, gee, I want to see this, and you cannot see it. It's in and out. But
yeah, in this day and age with the modern technology that we have, and I'm no expert on it, but I don't believe that there's any excuse for it in this day and age.
No, there isn't, and I don't know why they don't, why. I mean, it had such a beautiful picture when I was over in Grand Cayman, the advertising logic, and I found out that it's because they're hooked up to the internet over there. But, we have internet as well over here, but we're using, I guess, off of that old tower. I ain't no telling how many years old that is. But anyhow, I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a great weekend as well, please. Okay.
Perhaps it's there should be some consideration of running a special cable between Grand Cayman and Cayman Brack. That would be better than the
because they're not talking about an additional cable linking Cayman with
South America and so forth.
Something in addition to the Maya 1 and the Maya 2.
But a special cable between the two islands would be something great. I mean, that doesn't cost a lot of money. That's only like 80 miles, 80 miles of underground cable, and you could run a cable directly from the stations here to Little Cayman and Cayman Brack. Would give them the same kind of service that we have here. But even I don't know if that's going to be feasible, because even where I live, we haven't gotten the modern cable because we still use copper. The cable in my house we hooked up to flow, and like last night when it started raining, this TV starts seizing up. Yeah, because it's copper. It's not the other kind of system that Flow has.
The fiber optic,
fiber optic. It's got fiber.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, Doc. When we return, we're going to talk about the United Nations. One of our listeners asked if we could list the countries that are members of the C24 group, the Committee of 24, if we could list the members of that as well. And we'll talk, again, go back over some of the things that we talked about before, the United Nations International Trusteeship System, how we came under the United Nations in the first place under the auspices of the United Nations as well. So let's take the commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record with Dr. Steve Macfield. We'll be back shortly.
Stronger, wider, higher.
lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor. Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior and 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Digital is not a buzzword, it is a culture. At Digicel, we've made it our mission to enrich your digital lives. That's why we're bringing together more of all the experiences you love. The latest shows, the best of local and international music and radio, live sports, cloud storage, breaking news, HD video chats, and more. Welcome to Digital at Digicel, the Caribbean's fastest mobile network. Digicel, better together.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
No, man. My bills seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Dr. Steve McFeel. We're going to talk about the United Nations, the system, the Cayman Islands. And let's start out by talking about how we got to where we are today.
So you want to you said that some of your listeners was asking about the current members of the Yes.
You want to do that first?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to do that first. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Because I brought my notes for me and stuff. I said the following are the current members of the Decolonization Committee. There was Antigua and Barbuda, Bolivia, Chile, China, Congo, Cuba, Dominica, Ecuador, Ethiopia, Fiji, Grenada, India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Mali, Nicaragua, Papua New Guinea, Russian Federation, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Sierra Leone, Syrian Arab Republic, Timor-Leste, Tunisia, United Republic of Tanzania, and Venezuela. They are the current members of the committee. Of course, when I went, you were saying to your listeners a couple of days ago also that the last time Cayman had appeared at the Decolonization Committee before the special committee on decolonization was in 2010. Yeah, that was at a regional seminar in New Caledonia and Nome, in on the 18th to the 20th of May 2010.
Right, and they mentioned that in that resolution that they passed as well. They mentioned that.
That's right, and the chairman of the meeting was a guy called Donatus Keith St. Ami. He was the chairman from St. Lucia, and that was the last time that a Cayman appeared at any of the decolonization seminars, and of course I was acting on behalf of the then premier of the Cayman Islands, the Honorable Makiba Bush.
Right.
And it caused some difficulties for them because they thought I was an elected member of the government. And but I was just representing the government, and of course, they had my resume because of all the work I had done prior to coming there in 1970. You know, my resolution, my petition to them, and so forth. And they were surprised that when I came to the before the special committee on decolonization that my views had changed. That's what they thought, my views had changed from 1970. But I had to explain to them that my views had not changed, but I was just representing the views of the cabinet of the Cayman Islands, in which I was directed to speak on behalf. And so they gave me the floor to explain my personal position, and of course I took an hour and a half. And I explained my personal position to the chair and to the special committee members. It was very, very interesting. I made a lot of friends in different countries all over the world. And in fact, I was offered work. I was offered work to come to work for some of those people after they finally met the person that had caused all the problems in Cayman and
stirred things up
in 1970. So now I think you said you wanted to ascertain the history of how the Cayman Islands and other countries became on the list.
The international trusteeship system.
Yep. Well, I brought my notes also on that, and I would like to say that let me go back to the beginning. I say when the United Nations were created, after the war, there were 750 million people living in territories that were not non-self-governing. However, the Charter of the United Nations included in Chapter 11 provisions calling for recognition of the rights of inhabitants of territories administered by its members. It called for these member states to aid in the establishment of self-governance through the development of free political institutions, as well as to keep in mind the political aspirations of the people. The Charter also created in Chapter 12 the International Trusteeship System. This system allowed for the administration and supervision of territories placed under the control of the United Nations by member states wishing to grant independence to their colonial possessions. These trust territories were administered by the United Nations Trustee Council, which was created by Chapter 13 of the Charter. Now, a lot of those places you remember were taken back from the war from different countries.
Right. Yeah. If we could go look at Article 77, and I think it points out there that Article 77 of the Charter, International Trusteeship System, applied to territories that were held under mandates established by the League of Nations after the First World War. Those were places like Namibia and others,
South Sahara, all of those places, even Guam and Samoa and all of those places. They were taken away from like the Japanese and taken away from some of the European countries who were defeated, and they were placed on a trusteeship with some members of the United Nations.
Right, and territories detached from enemy states as a result of the Second World War as well. And then, of course, this third category, which we fall into, territories voluntarily placed under the system by states responsible for their administration.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so we were placed under the decolonization section of that resolution, and says, also known as the Declaration of the Granting of Independence to Colonial, hoping to speed up the process of decolonization. The General Assembly passed Resolution 1514, that's the famous one, also known as the Declaration on the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Peoples. The declaration stated that all peoples have the right to self-determination and that immediate steps should be taken to end colonialism unconditionally. That was Resolution 1514. That the famous Resolution 1514.
Yes.
And then on the 27th of November 1961, the General Assembly created the precursor to the Special Committee by Resolution 1654, which established a special committee of 17 members to examine the application of the declaration and to make recommendations on how to better implement it. Now, the original members were Australia, Cambodia, Ethiopia, India, Italy, Madagascar, Mali, Poland, Syria, Tanganyika, Tunisia, Union of the Soviet Socialist Republic. That's what before the Russian broke up.
Right, and Tanganyika is now Tanzania.
Yes. United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, United States of America, Uruguay, Venezuela, and Yugoslavia. Those were the original members. And then on the 7th of December 1962, the General Assembly added 7 seats to the committee, bringing the total members of membership up to 24. The number increased again in 2004, 2008, and 2010. The number 24 now constitutes to be used when describing the committee, even though it now has 29 members. But they still call it the Committee of 24.
Right.
So we see here it says the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland and Northern Ireland. Well, I don't know how long that will last, because I understand from the pundits, the political pundits in Europe and in the United Kingdom, that we might not have the United Kingdom anymore after next year, because there's overwhelming urge for Scotland to move away from them, and if Scotland moves away, Ireland and Wales will also do the same, and so we just have the island of England by itself. So all of those things are in the cards. Now, in 1990, the General Assembly proclaimed 1990 to 1920 to 2000, those 20 years, as the International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism by Resolution 4347, with the ultimate goal being the full implementation of the Declaration of the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Peoples. Now, the General Assembly adopted a report of the Secretary General, in December 1991 as the Plan of Action for the Decades. That's what it was called. And in December 2000, the General Assembly proceeded to proclaim the Second International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism, lasting from 2001 to 2010 via Resolution 146. The resolution called upon member states to redouble their efforts to implement the plan of action during the second decade. And then, lastly, in December 2010, the General Assembly proclaimed 2010 to 2020 as the Third International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism via Resolution 65119. The resolution called upon member states to intensify their efforts to continue to implement the plan of action during the third decade now. So we are in the third decade now.
Right.
That's where we are now.
Yeah. Okay. Time for us to take a break. Headline news, top of the hour, 9 o'clock. Folks, please stay tuned. For the Record with Dr. Steve Macfield will continue after headline news, which is a short break.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 137 COVID-19 tests on Thursday. 2 were positive asymptomatic cases who were travelers. They are currently in isolation. There are 22 active cases in Cayman as of October 22nd. U.S. President Donald Trump and his Democratic rival Joe Biden tangled over race, COVID, and Trump's taxes in the final debate Thursday night. The Nashville event featured more substance and policy than their ill-tempered first debate. Trump defended his COVID response in the opening exchange and said it saved lives. Joe Biden accused Trump of downplaying the risk and not accepting responsibility. The two also clashed over son Hunter Biden's business interests abroad. 3 snap polls from CNN, Data Progress, and U.S. Politics declare Biden the winner. There are now just 12 days to the U.S. election. Trump trails Biden in most national polls. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
Friday's CI Retro Talk Today presentation will tell you about some of our unsung heroes. So be listening. Here's just a little teaser.
On the northeast Triangle Key, said that's where I live this morning as the sun was rising. He said, well, how you come to be down here? I said, well, I swam across the Triangle Key Channel and I walked the reef down. Tide took me off, I said, down about halfway down, I call it. But I said, out for a long time, but the Lord helped me that I got back in. He said, you swam across northeast Channel, the Triangle Key Channel? I said, yes, sir. And he said, you didn't know what you were doing. So I'm sorry to tell you, but you didn't know.
CI Retro's Talk Today special presentation Friday at 12:15 p.m. on Radio Cayman, brought to you by the Ministry of Culture. Cayman Islands culture. Love it, wear it, be proud of it.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Dr. Steve Macfield in the studio with me. Over to you, Doc.
So since 2010, when I appeared before the Decolonization Committee, seminars have been held in the Caribbean region. Now, seminars are held alternatively in the Caribbean region one year and in the Pacific region the other year. Mm-hmm. And I think in 2018, a seminar was held in Grenada. And I think it probably was this year earlier. Seminars was held in Nicaragua.
Okay.
So that's so. And since that, but since the importance of that information is that since 2010, 10 years of seminars, Cayman has never sent anyone back to the to the UN Decolonization Committee seminars to tell them what our aspirations are, or to ask to summon the United Kingdom before them to report of their stewardship and their administration of our system, of our political system, because that's what it is. It's political independence. It's not talking about economic independence or social independence. It's talking about political independence. So our administering territory, and for your listeners, I might have just tell them, I might have just reference to them that there are some 17 territories now.
Right, non-self-governing territories that remain.
That remains.
And the British overseas territories, that is all. And the other special areas that is all that is left of the British Empire.
That's all
that is left of the British Empire.
That's all that's left of the British Empire. Yep. The Great Canada, the great United Kingdom, the great India, with all the millions of people that the flag they say the sun never set, and the great Australia, New Zealand, they're all gone now. And all their holdings in Africa are all gone now, and the only one left now are the straggling few members that they have now, the few people that they control now in the Caribbean, and a few in the North Atlantic.
Okay, well, what I'm going to share with we're going to talk about the visiting mission to the Cayman Islands in 1977, and it is important.
Can I just list the remaining non-self-governing territories?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It says as of February last year, there were 17 territories of United Kingdom of United Nations lists of non-self-governing territories, and there are American Samoa, Anguilla, Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Falkland Islands, French Polynesia, Gibraltar, Guam, Montserrat, New Caledonia, Pitcairn Island, St. Helena, Tokelau, Turks and Caicos Island, United States Virgin Islands, and Western Sahara. They were the ones that are still non-self-governing.
Okay. So in relation to the special committee, the Cayman Islands was referred the representative of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland as the administering power concerned participated in the work of the special committee during its consideration of the item of the Cayman Islands, right? Then on the 106th meeting on February 25th of February, the chairman informed the special committee that further to his consultation with the permanent representative of the United Kingdom to the United Nations concerning the question of sending visiting missions to territories, the government of the United Kingdom had invited the committee to send a 3-member visiting mission to the Cayman Islands. At the same meeting, the special committee decided to accept the invitation and to request the chairman to hold the necessary consultations regarding the composition of the mission. As a consequence of decisions taken in regard to the 1064th and 1067th meeting on the 2nd and 8th of March, the visiting mission was composed of Fiji, who chaired the committee, Trinidad and Tobago, and Tunisia. And then, of course, they submitted their report after as well. Now, in prior segments of For the Record, we spoke about the special committee coming to the Cayman Islands, 17th of April, 1977, visiting the various government departments, meeting with members of the Legislative Assembly, meeting with members of the public, visiting the sister islands, having meetings over there as well. And in some instances, they were greeted, they were met warmly. In others, there was a little bit, more antagonistic in terms of the meetings. And during the course of the show today, we want to share some of those sentiments that were expressed by those persons who met with the special members of the special committee. We spoke of some of them before, and we will mention them again. And then in terms of the sequence of events, that after their meeting here in the Cayman Islands, they then went on to London to have discussions with the politicians and the FCO in London about their visit as well, and that was from the 22nd to the 25th of May. They went over there to have consultations with the officials of the United Kingdom. United Kingdom government. Anything you want to add, Doc?
No. That's exactly what happened. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And of course, in their report, they gave a general description of the Cayman Islands and what obtained in the territory. They spoke about constitutional and political developments, and let's see what they said about constitutional and political developments in the Cayman Islands at the time. It says an outline of the constitutional arrangement set out in the Cayman Islands Constitution Order 1972 appears in the report of the Special Committee to the General Assembly at its 28th session. Briefly, the governmental structure consists of a governor appointed by the Queen, an executive council, and a legislative assembly. The governor is responsible for defense, external affairs, internal security, the police, and the public service, and has reserved legislative powers necessary in the exercise of his special responsibilities. On other matters, however, he is normally required to consult the executive council in the formulation of policy and in the exercise of the powers conferred upon him. Goes on to explain the Executive Council, and this is in our 1972 Constitution, folks. Mm-hmm. The Executive Council consists of the governor as its president, 3 official members appointed by him, the chief secretary, the leader of government business, the attorney general, and the financial secretary, and 4 others elected by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly from amongst their numbers and appointed by the governor. The governor is given discretion to charge any member of the council with responsibility for any subject or department of the government other than the subjects exclusively reserved to him. In the exercise of his responsibility, the member so charged is obliged to act in accordance with the policies of the government as decided in the council and with the principle of collective responsibility. And that basically still obtains
that
today.
That still obtains in the cabinet system now, yes, instead of the nominated system.
And then it goes on to talk about the Legislative Assembly consists of a governor, or when there is a person holding the office of Speaker, and it took us a long time to the early 90s before we got that. The Speaker, 3 official members appointed by the governor, the chief secretary, the leader of government business, and the attorney general and the financial secretary. So at that time, the chief secretary was basically the leader of government business at that time. 12 other members, that's when we had 12 members directly elected on the basis of universal adult suffrage for a term of 4 years. And it goes on to talk about the territory being divided into 6 electoral districts: West Bay, Georgetown, and then spoke about the first general election that was held under the Constitution. That was held on the 22nd of November, 1972, and was not contested on a party basis. As well. We do have a caller. Paul, let's take the caller before we go to the break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, Mr. For the Record, and how Dr. McFeel. Good day to you.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fine, you know. You know, Mr. O.C., I always like when you bring up the UN situation, and I find it sad, you know, disappointing when the United Kingdom and the way that they have handled their overseas territories and the colonies. And I've said it before, they have learned nothing since the American War of Independence in the way they treat people with disregard.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the type of partnership that they mightn't be promoted but put in effect is that of a rider and a horse. One sits on a saddle on the back of the horse and has a rein in its hand, and the other one has a bit in its mouth and the saddle on its back. And that's the type of partnership that they prefer. And it was back in the 90s, towards the end of the 1990s, for 2 years when I visited New York for business, I used to go and sit down and talk with Mr. Earl Huntley from St. Lucia. He was the ambassador to the United Nations from St. Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
And I've maintained contact with him. And also Dr. Carlisle Corbin from the U.S. Virgin Islands, because the U.S. Virgin Islands is in a similar situation we are with the U.S. And following my visits with Mr. Earl Huntley and talking to others here, we've had a total of about, I guess it's about 7, 8, 9 people, besides Dr. McField, that's participated in the UN decolonization issues. And I know you have a copy of Article 73.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you read that and you see the obligations that the United Kingdom has, when you check the box, and if you were to look at year to year, what are they really doing? And the fact about putting the concerns of the territories, that they must be paramount. Paramount is pretty high on the order of priorities, I think. And when you realize that there is no mutual respect at all from the United Kingdom to us, when they boast in their meetings that they have clean nuclear weapons and dirty nuclear weapons. A clean nuclear weapon is the one for Section 81. The dirty one is 125 in our Constitution. And you usually use weapons against enemies. So therefore, in the United Kingdom's dialogue and talk, and Governor, I hope you're listening to this, that they refer to us as enemies. You don't use nuclear weapons against domestic issues. And of course, they're forming the army now, the Royal Cayman Islands Army. That's what it is. Call it. They can use any flowery word to change it, but that's what it is. It's just an indication to me, and so many of our Caymanian people are thinking that's the best thing since sliced bread. But what we're putting amongst our mints now is a Trojan horse that is going to be used against us. They're going to come and attack us from within. And I would suggest, Dr. McField and Mr. For the Record, Connor, that, and if you want, I will assist and get in touch with Dr. Carlisle Corbin. He's out in the Pacific now. He does teaching out there in universities.
Okay.
And also Earl Huntley, who's still in St. Lucia. He is retired from diplomatic service. And there are others, too, in the other Caribbean OTs, and that we get our local people on your show, maybe next time Dr. McField is on, or have a special show, and they can talk about their experiences at the United Nations. Because the United Kingdom drafted Article 43 in 1944, and then they got 74 different nations to go along with it after the end of World War II. And in San Francisco in 1946 is when the United Nations was born, when the nations came together. And there are other options than independence. New Zealand doesn't have an independent day. They went so gradually to ruling their own affairs. And if you look at New Zealand with their relationship with Tokelau, the United Nations has said that their arrangement fully satisfies all of the requirements of the United Nations Article 73, because in their constitutional arrangements between Tokelau and New Zealand will not and cannot pass a law that is not agreed to by the people of Tokelau.
Right.
That's partnership. That's working together.
But Mr. Billy,
yes, sir.
Let me tell you, I agree with all you say, but in the end, it's the Caymanian people that are the people that are supposed to have the oversight over their affairs. Now, I would say in an adversarial relationship such as what we have between the Cayman and the British and between the governing party and the opposition party, oversight is required. Now, oversight, Mr. Billy, requires knowledge, skill, and experience that many of our parliamentarians do not have and who often report difficulties in learning on the job. Representing as they do, Mr. Billy, all walks of life and all geographic regions, they often face a huge information deficit when dealing with technical problems and when dealing with things like overseas problems, when dealing with things like the British parliamentary system, when dealing with the United Nations. It's our people who are not pushing the envelope. If your master doesn't care about your release from mental slavery or from physical slavery, you should do that yourself. And so it's us that has to. It's us, every one of us, and especially the people that we elect to represent us, is the ones who should be guiding us in how that we should, and the ways in which we should free ourselves from mental slavery. It's not the British government. I can tell you, I have done that, and I have moved on in my evolution on this planet. No one has me in mental slavery, and as much difficulty as I have in my lifetime, I am free from all those constraints. So it's us now, and it's the people that represent us that has to go out now and has to engage the United Nations, engage all of these organizations that give us the freedom that we speak. We want to talk about it ourselves here. We rub about it. We lambast a governor and so forth. We know all of that. It's in our constitution. What they can do and what they can't do. We know about the nuclear option, but what are we going to do about it?
That's it.
That's the problem. That's the problem. And Mr. Billy, I wrote down this. I wrote down this question when I came today. I wrote down this question when I came. Yes, the question I pose, as I examine all the success factors and the constraints for the governing party and for the opposition and from the band of independent oppositions, I call them, are there potential generally accepted standards of public accountability? They have none. And the problem is that that's what we need to do. We need to have people who represent our aspirations and not their own. Because when public servants tell you that they are going to give concessions to private corporations and it's a secret, I mean, you should be worried about that. But because it's public funds and it's public money and it's public administration that they're responsible for and the people they're responsible to. And so when you have that kind of behavior, that's why I say I actually dread the independent I word. Because if they can get away with that now, with an administrating country looking over their heads and so forth, boy, I regret what would happen if we went into independence with that kind of behavior.
Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave us there. We're going to grab another call before we go to a commercial break. But thanks very much again. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay. Good morning to Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
I'd just like to say the day is coming when we are going to regret being a British overseas territory. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. So what I found when looking at the report of the mission to the Cayman Islands was that they continuously, every district that they went to, and every meeting, they had to explain to people the reason why
they were here,
because misinformation had been spread as to why they were coming. Even to our legislative assembly, the meeting that they had with the members of the Legislative Assembly on the 19th of April, 1977. And of course, there we have the governor, Mr. Thomas Russell, presiding over the Legislative Assembly. He's already an arm of the administering power.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's the president.
Yes.
So it says, after introductions, the chairman said that the mission was glad to have had the opportunity of meeting members of the Legislative Assembly. The meeting afforded an opportunity to clear the air and to clear a few points. It would be difficult to speculate on what the future of the world would be without the United Nations. Indeed, it was difficult to visualize the world after the Second World War without the United Nations. The United Nations was important to the independent and non-independent countries. Each country had to make a contribution. In the United Nations, each state was given an equal right and opportunity. The United Kingdom government was bound by the Charter to report to the General Assembly regularly on the state of non-self-governing territories under its administration. The Special Committee now and again sent a visiting mission to a territory at the invitation of an administering power. The mission was visiting the Cayman Islands at the invitation of the United Kingdom government. The mission would report its findings to the United Nations. The mission was there to obtain first-hand information. It wanted to hear from the people of the territory. It wanted to know what their feelings were. And this is why I am making the call that we should ask, there should be a private member's motion in the Legislative Assembly requesting that through the governor, you go to the United Kingdom authorities there, they then to instruct their ambassador, United Nations representative, to invite the special committee to come back to the Cayman Islands, to visit the Cayman Islands again, to hear what the situation is. We know that the Brits don't want that to happen, and the reason that the Brits don't want that to happen is because they feel that they no longer have an obligation, because they feel that based on the reports that they have submitted to the United Nations, in all of the years in relation to the progress that the Cayman Islands has made, that we have reached the point where we want to reach politically, and that we don't want to go any further, so there is no need for them to report. Well,
oh yes, that's what they've told. That's what they've told him, and they told him they should take us. They should take us off the
yes, exactly.
list.
But what has transpired in the last few months? What has transpired in the last few months says otherwise, and that is why. And I'm sure that the members of the United Nations know and see what's going on in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, definitely.
But it is not for them to take up the mantle on our behalf.
It's for the Cayman people or the administering country.
Exactly, to do so.
To do so, yes. And you know, Mr. For the record, it's not only the government and the administering country that has an audience before the committee. NGOs and even individuals like myself have audience before them, and so I am just waiting to see what these guys are going to do. Mm-hmm. The people that we say are our representatives, and I'm going to write to the committee and ask for an audience for the next seminar, mm-hmm. and I'm going to go there and set out what I think that I would like to see
in a personal capacity.
In a personal capacity. I've done it before, and I'll do it again.
Excellent. We're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
No, man. My bill seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Foam Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best in sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Dr. Steve McField. We have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir, and I'm just enjoying the dialogue and the conversation. And I want to weigh in on a couple things.
Sure.
That might set a historical background for the discussion that you gentlemen are so able at carrying on. I want to say that as a staunch and registered anti-colonialist.
Yes.
Nothing that happens now really surprises me. Because as a historian, I know way back from 1850 north, the British policymakers began to make distinctions between the future of their colonies and the white colonies, which at that time were the Canadian provinces, New South Wales in Australia, and the South African Cape, were given a different type of government from the black ones, such as Jamaica. The white colonies were encouraged to emancipate themselves and were treated as grown-up sons, while the black colonies such as Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, all the African colonies were treated as burdens and managed under a kind of benevolent guardianship.
And other than the United States having to fight for their independence, the African ones had to fight for theirs.
I'm coming to that. And then in 1942, Winston Churchill, bless his heart, the great liberator, got up in the House of Commons and said that he had not become the king's first minister to preside over the liquidation of the British Empire. So he, the hero that he was, gave no intention of relinquishing control. And then listen to this, they have a plan. They still have the plan, because one of them said that giving these colonies independence was the equivalent of giving a child of 10 a latchkey, a bank account, and a shotgun. And they had no intention of giving them independence. And then the American president, who bailed the United Kingdom out during World War II, and a man I greatly admire, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, told his son that the British colonies were nothing. Hear how he described the gentleman as hellholes. And he said the British did nothing but extracted the wealth of the colonies and put back not one thing. And that is the same position in which we find ourselves in today. I regret, and I take some responsibility too, even although I tried to elevate and inform the understanding of my constituents and the wider Caymanian public of the relationship in which we were in. Britain learned the rules of colonization from the Romans, who were the quintessential colonials, and they haven't changed the playbook to this day. And so now, gentlemen, what has happened? They're out of the European Union, so they have no distractions to keep them from lording it over the places like the Cayman Islands. I'm sorry, but we're in for a rough ride.
Well, Mr. Borden, I just would like to share that with you. I am the same as you are, and you know my views. Too. The thing that the pundits, the political pundits in England now, in the United Kingdom now, I should say, are posing the proposition that at least next year, the next year, that there's going to be no United Kingdom, that the union will be broken.
Yes.
And they will be going. So they will only be in England now. And so with England administering, don't you think that the whole colonial system is going to be more important to them, to how these little islands, which as Mr. for the record Orrit said this morning, only now represents their empire?
Of course. And gentlemen, I say something else too. It is only now we are going to be colonized. Look for them to come this way in droves. And I want to utter this stark warning without fear of successful contribution. Their ultimate objective is to be able to sit in the Legislative Assembly, or now Parliament.
Yep. Yes.
You hear what I'm telling you?
Yes.
You hear what I'm telling you? And God help us the day that happens.
Yep. Well, that could happen anytime. Not the day. It could happen the day. It's inevitable that it can happen, and the chances of it not happening are are not as great as the chances of it happening. And that's the problem, that we're not, that our politicians who have very little standards and very little savvy in how the system works, will do nothing about it. They will go wrong and they will start rubbing with the governor and rubbing with this one and getting up and saying how bad it is and how it is, but they will not do anything about it and come to their people and educate their people. I don't think they know themselves. No, they don't. Because the legislature is not function as a business proposition and as a business approach and to improve the public administration of the country. It's really sad to see that we've gone backwards from whence we came. And people like yourself and people like Mr. Gilbert McLean and all those men who were moving the country forward slowly, but moving the country forward now, we're cast aside and like people look at us and say like who the hell are they? You know, these guys now that call themselves parliamentarians and stuff, that, you know, and so forth.
Dr. McPhail, you're so right. Every time I make a comment on one of the online media outlets, I see the ad hominem curses that I get. They don't curse. They don't curse my ideas. They curse me.
Yes,
when I talk about colonialism, they say, "Well, he's doing better. He only mentioned it in the 4th sentence." And these people who hide behind anonymity, the ignorant bigots, they don't understand. And let me tell you, the worst curse that we have ever suffered is that we don't teach history and civics in our schools, so that we don't understand what's happening to us, the noose around our neck, and then we have bigots whose only claim to fame is amassing wealth. They're not lettered.
Exactly. They're not lettered or professionals.
Yeah, they only, like I say in my poem, they curse the darkness and they curse those of us who are black. But I say this: only God can silence my voice. And the worst thing there's no worse thing than the man who believes he has nothing left to lose.
Yep.
I'm in my 7th decade, so prison doesn't intimidate me. Not at all. Gentlemen, have a great day. I shall continue to listen.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
So we know that the special committee visited the various districts, the receptions that they got. I must say that when they visited the district of West Bay, the late Miss Esther Ebanks, they had a good reception there. She explained to the people, why they were there. They had a pretty good one in Bordentown as well. A.J. Miller chaired it, and they had members of Executive Council were there, representatives for Bordentown were there as well. But I believe that was more of a controlled crowd in Bordentown in terms of they were, they knew they were there to support the government in terms of what they wanted to do. We have a call, but we'll take the caller after we do the commercial break. I just want to point out the members of the Legislative Assembly that they met with: Governor Thomas Russell, Mr. Dennis H. Foster, who was the Chief Secretary, Gerald Waddington, who was the Attorney General, Mr. Sir Vassal Johnson, Financial Secretary, George Haig Borden, Bordentown, James Manoa Borden, Bordentown, Truman M. Borden, Georgetown, Captain Charles Cook, Colonel Cayman Brack and Little Cayman. The other members of the Legislative Assembly, Mr. Dennis, Miss Anna Hulda Borden, Mr. Craddock Ebanks, Mr. Dalmain Ebanks, Miss Esther Ebanks, Mr. John McLean, Mr. Garston Smith, Mr. George Smith of Georgetown, Keith Parker Tibbetts Sr. of Cayman Brack and Little Cayman. They go on to list all of the, this is the report now from the special committee, list all of the members of the Chamber of Commerce, all of the banks that were listed in the Cayman Islands. Then there was a chart showing what the financial situation of the Cayman Islands was as well, and I think that is extremely important. The public debt, they showed us what the public debt was. For roads, airport resurfacing loans, 1958. Intercolonial loan, 1978. The amount due on the 1st of January, 1976, $160,000. Less the sinking fund, $135,000. The intercolonial loan amount due in January 1976, $50,000, and the balance that we had then was $34,000. Exchequer loans. So we had a lot of loans from the United Kingdom. We had a Barclays loan approved in 1967 to reconstruct Bordentown, East End, and North Side roads. That was for $400,000. Less payments to 1975. We still had $100,000 that we need to pay that off as well, and there was some carried forward in relation to that, $894,000. I want to share with you also the students. They had a list of all of the students who were overseas, but I will share that with you as soon as we return from the commercial break and as soon as we take the caller as well. So folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Roper's Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Roper's, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor.
Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior, an 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology, and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288.
No, man. My bills seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the Record with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show. We have last caller for the morning caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I find myself calling in quite a bit, but I called for two purposes this morning.
Okay.
One, again, to remind people in all over the island, in fact, but particularly my constituency of West Bay West and indeed the entire district of West Bay, that next January, God willing, the government is honoring seamen, and there are a lot of seamen to be honored. I have passed in some 300 names in West Bay that I knew, and I and encouraging people and reminding people that they have until the 31st of October
yes,
to submit nominations, and they should do so. I'm sure their grandfathers, uncles, brothers, the family members worthy to be on that roll call come January on Heroes Day, and I'm trusting that they will do so. I have forms at my office, and they can reach them after 10 o'clock in the morning. The forms will be there, and my secretary will help, but families need to provide the narrative, which is up to 300 words, and I repeat that, up to. It don't have to be 300 words. It can be 300 words if they have a long narrative to provide. So I'm hoping that and encouraging people and reminding people they have a very short time, but I'm sure people can get the time to do that in the evening at home to provide that information and nomination to the Seafarers Association.
Right, and they're still running commercials on Radio Cayman about it as well.
Yeah. But unfortunately, some people don't get it because up until now, I haven't called people and they didn't know. They don't know. Anyway.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I just want to... Are you finished?
No, he has another point he wants to...
I have a point that I hear... I was waiting to get a chance to call, and I hear the remarks being made about members of the House. I am a part of a coalition government. I am the Speaker. And perhaps some people say I speak more than I should, but I do have a responsibility, and I do have a constituency, and we don't have a system that where the Speaker is that well taken care of that he shouldn't speak for his constituency, and perhaps on national matters, as I'm going to say on this one. In regards to people coming and taking over, if anyone thinks that there are not members in this legislative assembly at this time that will do the right thing and stand up and know what is going on and have the sense to understand and have been through several things ourselves, then they're making a sad mistake. I know history, and I'm not all that shout about what they want to do and what they said. Not all of them. If you stamp your foot, they break their neck running. They get so afraid. Not me. I'm not like that. I stand up and I fight. And when I have the cause to, I fight. And so just understand this, that this member from West Bay West will do everything possible with others. By myself, if I have to talk, because by yourself you can only talk. You can't even pass a motion. You can't even submit. You can't get a motion in the House by yourself. So with others, you can believe this. Nobody is coming here to take over this country without, I don't know what would happen, because I'm sure those of us will stand up. So I don't think we got to that point in this world where they will declare martial law or whether they would do any such thing. I don't think so. I don't think so. There are steps that often taken, OC, that we say, that's an insidious step. And we have cause to wonder why.
Yeah.
Why? Okay? And you've been in cabinet, and you know me too.
Oh, yeah.
You know that I stand up when I have to fight, nobody can push me down.
I've traveled with you to international meetings and everything else, so I know that.
And you know that.
Yes.
And so I just want to assure anyone listening that this McKeown Bush, it's not gonna happen in my time like that.
Thank you.
I also want to thank you very much for the sterling job you did at Mercedes' birthday.
Yes, I haven't gotten a chance to mention that yet, but such a good. It was such a good gathering. It was such a good gathering.
And there's been people that I hadn't seen for quite a long time, and many of my supporters as well, but many people that I hadn't seen for quite a while. And Mercedes is a very, very dear person.
Yes.
Publicly, I think we should say happy birthday to her this week.
Yes.
Because she is.
And she loves you. She loves you. Oh my gosh.
If I was next door to her, she would be by me every morning. I would be by her every morning. She is she's that mother type. She's one of those mother types. Man, I have several of them through the country. But I have them too that I can't even look at them. But I do want to thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Children, the daughters, for doing such a fantastic
excellent job. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
I have to say publicly, I say so privately and publicly, that when you were leading the country, you were engaged internationally, and you were interested in pushing the country forward. You pushed the envelope, and I have to give you credit for that. Since you sent your representative in the person of myself to the United Nations Decolonization Committee in May 2010, no one has gone since. No one is interested in going since. You were engaged not only at that level, but you also engaged on the other international level with overseas countries and territories. You remember, sir, that myself and a guy called Mr. Wheatley from British Virgin Islands were the one who wrote the organization's rules and regulations to form the Caribbean Overseas Countries and Territories Organization, and you led a delegation down to Curacao, in which you put that organization into place. I don't think anyone since you have left have done anything about it.
No, they haven't done anything.
And so I have to congratulate you for what you've done. You have your faults, and like all of us have our faults, but I can say publicly that I also travel with you, and you're well liked and you're well respected abroad, and I have to say that since that time, nothing has really been done, and that really bothers me. That no other leader in this country has taken up on what you tried to do to move the country forward.
And you know also that myself and I can't remember whether you went with us to Anguilla to that meeting, but me and the Honorable Julianne O'Connor, I think, attended that meeting in Anguilla on the same matters, but it was a Curacao meeting that was very pertinent because we did form all overseas territories, not just the British territory. And that also
all the Caribbean overseas territories.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but yes, all the Caribbean, including the Antilles, because remember they are Netherlands.
Yes.
They are Holland. Okay. And so you wasn't there, right?
No, I wasn't. I know Miss Julie and I went to Anguilla together, but you weren't on that occasion.
On that one, no.
Yes.
She went on there also. Yeah, she did represent the country there on that matter. Yeah. There are times when you wonder why things are done, and as I said, you can only put, as old people say, two and two together, Dr. Steve, and you put two and two together and you say, this is just not right. Something is not right here. Got to be some ulterior motive. Sometimes it's not an ulterior motive. Sometimes, okay? And some of the things now I don't think is ulterior motives. Not from, let's say, not from the governor here. I think, as we all know, the governor is an employee of the
right. Yeah, he's not doing things on his own initiative.
Yes. He can't do things on his. Right. He might want to even say things for us, right? But man, you have those governors, and I should say this: you have those governors who come to stir up trouble. I had Duncan Taylor.
They're set with an agenda,
and they are within themselves to get a friend a post, or to get for the post themselves. Duncan Taylor went from here after he stopped
Mexico.
that should have gone ahead. He tried to destroy the budgets that we put forward. The very one that we left with $100 million in surplus, they tried to get me to put in a budget or a temporary budget. I said no. If the country don't want to do the things this way, then somebody got to pay the bill. And I put my foot down, and we put in the fees on the financial services, and it didn't kill the financial services.
Yeah.
It didn't kill them.
Yeah.
I also say this, and I'll stop here, Rosie. Governors do come, they get their friends. And the Auditor General was one of them. He went on to a higher post, a big post, after he carried out the will. Stopped us in one instance alone. We paying, if not paid off by now, a loan for $100 and something million. And when we could have got a lower rate, although it wasn't in this country, it was in New York, from a fund in New York.
Yeah.
We could have got it. We could have got it at a lower rate, $60 million more. They made this country pay because they wanted to stop me from getting anywhere. That, I'll always remember that one. I'll always remember that one. I'll stop here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want to say this, O.C., that this meeting of the House is a very significant meeting, because the House, when the House closes this time, we'll close our books on a long history since 1959 of being the Legislative Assembly. And so that day will be a very pertinent day.
Okay.
And I think we will announce it in time, so that if anyone wants to come, because there will be remarks made of that milestone and memorable occasion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Probably next week sometime.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
that.
very much for your time.
Paul, I'm going to ask you indulgence here, because this is something I want to read. I wanted to share, talking about the report of the Decolonization Committee and what the Cayman Islands government and the UK government provided to them. They, looked at the various industries, agriculture, looked at the roads situation, students, government scholarships as well. And in the field of study, this is in 1977, in the humanities, I can't read the first name. I can't. It's ineligible, but illegible. Sorry, I shouldn't say ineligible. Illegible. The last name is Webb. The person was studying psychology at the University of Florida in Gainesville. Then we had a person studying education. Sharon Wells, college course in Irrington, Teachers Training College in Barbados. Marie Martin, college course also in Barbados. Angela Tatum, also in Barbados. Ellen Sue Tibbetts, Weymouth College in England, studying education. Lana Tibbetts, also in Weymouth College. Orville Rankin, a degree course at Bristol College in England. J. Arthur Borden, Trent University in Canada, a degree course. Arthur Lynn Ebanks, a degree course in, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Some university in Canada, I'm sorry, but I can't pronounce that word. There's Donna Ryan, Lamar University in Texas. David Barnes, New York State University, all studying education. Then in the fine arts, we had Gary Ebanks studying music at the University of Miami. In law, we had Lorna Dilbert doing her LLB in University of the West Indies in Barbados. Our one and only, our own Dr. Steve McField doing his bar finals at Lincoln's Inn in London. In English, in the social sciences, Leonard Dilbert, political science in Canada. Jennifer Jackson, economics in Canada. Joseph Cleveland Ebanks, accounts, Drake College in New Jersey. Carver Dilbert, Dixon. Karen Nixon, social welfare, Florida State University. The natural sciences, we had Jerris Miller, a college course at the University of the West Indies in Jamaica. Jean Banks, mathematics, Bachelor of Science, Thames Polytechnic, England, Polytechnic in England. Joseph Parsons, marine biology, Miami. Engineering, James Arthur Smith, electronics and electrical in engineering, University of Surrey, England. Nigel Miller, auto mechanics, National Technology School, Los Angeles, United States. Medical sciences, we had Neela Panton, University of the West Indies. Balfour Christian, University of the West Indies. Miss Johnson, physical therapy. Hazel Bush, nursing at the West Indies College. Now, some of these persons, their last name may have changed because of them being married. Anna Mae Anderson, Royal Masonic Hospital School of Nursing, London. Sarah Jefferson, Miami-Dade Community College. Yvette Jackson, William Carey College. Julie Faye Porter, looks like William Carey College as well. Delroy Webb, Dentistry. Donald McLean, Pharmacology. Marvin Connolly, Optometry. Harwell McCoy, Dentistry. Lloyd Bush, Medical Technology. Jennifer Ebanks, dietitian. William Borden, MB, and at the University of the West Indies as well. So in that report, we even listed all of the students who were studying under government scholarships in the various places. So what we were doing in the Cayman Islands was showing them the United Kingdom, they are treating us well. We're doing the things that we want to do. On the surface, it all looked good. On the surface, it all looked, and some benefited. We must say some benefited, not all that benefited. Doc, we're way over time, but I want to give you a couple of seconds for some closing comments before we go.
I would just say, good to be with you on Fridays, and I'm hoping that we're fueling the minds of your listeners and into the options that we have. And I would just like to share with you, to share with what you have said, and to respond to some of the callers that we don't have to be scared, afraid, because there are other options that we have beside independence. And I'm sure that that I would like to go back to what I said to Mr. Billy. The question that I pose is are there potential generally accepted standards of public accountability? What we need now are education, information, and technical aspirations for our people, and so that we can move on. We can we can pick up the journey again that we started in the 1960s and 1970s and continue to move on. Otherwise, we are going to be complaining, and that's not going to get us anywhere. We have to push the envelope. We have to do what we have to do. We have to get up and walk, and walk and keep walking onwards into the next millennium.
Okay. Doc, I want to thank you very much for being here, folks. I want to thank you all as well. Remember to join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. Have a great weekend, and God bless.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity. We're good for you.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. And the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure. Visit energy.gov.ky/competition to win a home energy makeover